My name is Michael Parrott. I have been attending Church of the Open Door for about 4 or 5 years now. Since I've been attending Church of the Open Door and growing my faith in Christ, I really feel like one of my callings is just to share the gospel with people everywhere I go. And sometimes it's really simple. It may not be bringing somebody to Christ. It might just be a conversation, a friendly smile, a hello. I like to carry around these little Jesuses, and a lot of times I'll hand them to somebody who may look down, or I feel like I'm called to interact with this individual, and I'll tell them, here, have a little Jesus in your day. And I happen to remember one time I was racing into Home Depot, kind of under the gun to be really, really quick with my visit there, and I needed a sheet of drywall, and I just flew into this aisle and grabbed one and didn't even bother grabbing a cart. And as I'm walking up to the cash register, there's a guy in front of me with a cart of items. And it was Tom, and I didn't know him at the time, but he looks at me and goes, dude, would you want to cut me in line? You're carrying a sheet of drywall. And I was like, oh yeah, man, that would be really nice of you, like, thank you. And I just turned around and I said, God bless, man, and here, have a little Jesus in your day, and handed him one of these Jesuses.
So when I met Mike at Home Depot, we're both in the checkout line. I was in front of him with my cart, and I turn around and I notice that he's carrying a sheet of drywall. So I offer to let him go in front of me, and he does, and he hands me a little Jesus, and he says, God bless you. And I had never really said that before. I hadn't come to Christ yet, so it wasn't in my vocabulary. And I said, God bless you to him, and he proceeds to have a conversation with the cashier, and he said that he lives in Grafton. And I live in Grafton, and I'm just thinking, what a coincidence. So we both check out, and he comes back with 4 more of these little Jesuses for me to give to my kids. And we proceeded to have probably a 40-minute conversation right there in the parking lot, and we exchanged numbers. After Mike had left, I couldn't help but think about a Facebook post that I had made about a week prior. And in that post, I said, God has the most amazing way of placing you exactly where you need to be, exactly when you need to be there. And I felt that was exactly what happened that day. I feel like I was in the exact spot I needed to be, with the exact person I needed to be able to come to Christ and be saved and ultimately live a life for Jesus instead of myself. I was so open-minded for the first time in listening to somebody talk about Christ, and it just felt like so right to have that conversation and to hear Mike out and ultimately to let Jesus talk through Mike. But I didn't realize it at the time, but meeting Mike that day was literally about to change my life. I started playing softball with the Open Door team, and then the next week I went to church for the first time. And 2 weeks after that, me and Pastor Clay, right after service, prayed for my salvation. The following week is when I got baptized. But since meeting Mike, my life has changed drastically. I live a better life. I feel like I do more for people, for the Lord. I try to spread the gospel myself. But I think there's some comfort in knowing that these small gestures, these small acts can bring people such life-changing experiences. So I would say, if you're apprehensive about talking about Christ or having a conversation about Christ, they obviously work. And you can change somebody's life for the better with just one conversation.